Welcome to the Sencast. My name is Dale Pickle, the Managing Director of B Squared and the host of the Sencast. We created this podcast to help schools with the ever-increasing demands of supporting SEND and a free way to upskill their staff. And the Sencast is also a great way to get that same consistent message to schools and parents. My guest on this podcast this week was Marlon Huggins, the founder of SHYNNE, an organisation in Barnet that delivers community gaming events targeted with people living with autism and ADHD. And Marlon has also raised two young girls who are both autistic and have ADHD. And in this episode, we discuss the importance of helping to build connections and build confidence in neurodivergent young people and how this can be done outside of school. The Sencast is created and produced by us here at B Squared, and we are the assessment people. We are known for helping schools to show the small steps of progress pupils with SEND make. And over the last few years, we've been creating an inclusive assessment system that can be used by all pupils in primary schools, not just the SEND. This system has different levels of details for different levels of ability, but it makes looking at whole school data and comparing your SEND pupils and your non-SEND pupils really, really simple. It reduces teacher workload by only having to use one system. And our new AI features support simplify report writing. And of course, using one system saves money. Visit the B Squared website or click on the meeting link in the show notes to book a meeting with me to take you through what our assessment software can do for your school. Now, let's get on with that podcast. In this week's show, we're discussing helping to build connections and to build confidence in neurodivergent young people and how this can be done outside of school. This week, my guest is Marlon Huggins, the founder of SHYNNE, an organisation in Barnet that delivers community gaming events targeted at young people living with autism and ADHD. Marlon has supported and helped raise two young girls who are both autistic and have ADHD. Welcome to the show, Marlon.
Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Lots of neurodivergent young people spend their life in survival mode when they're out of the house. They're in environments that they struggle with, and I'm not just talking about the physical environment, I mean the social environment too. The pressure to fit in, the fear of getting it wrong, the constant effort of masking, it is exhausting. And it's important that these people can find somewhere where they can relax and be themselves. Isn't it?
Yeah, very important. I even, since setting up SHYNNE, the organisation, I was being around people that are neurodivergent, and I just felt a bit more comfortable, actually. So I started thinking to myself, am I undiagnosed? Have I got, I've always felt a bit, there was something different about, I just felt different a lot of the times to people, but I just thought, it's just who I am. But just sort of setting up this organisation, learning more about it all the time, I just figured that, okay, I accept myself and my faults and also the good things about me more so when I'm surrounded by people that are neurodivergent. So that's the sort of journey that I think I'll go on in a later time.
I just find, I think when I'm around neurodivergent people, I have to put less effort in.
Yes, that's it. It's like you don't have to hold your breath anymore and just be a certain way. Just be like, I can relax. Like, I just have that feeling. So that's what made me feel something to this. But I feel just so comfortable in those spaces.
So tell me about SHYNNE.
Yeah, sure. So it's an organisation in Barnet which was set up last year, April. And it was set up because basically I have two sisters. So they are both neurodivergent. They've got autism and ADHD. Now, one's high functioning. She goes to university. She has loads of friends, has a boyfriend, all that typical teen stuff. But my other sister is what they class as like low functioning. So she doesn't get to go out. She doesn't have any friends. When she does go out, she has to be supported with someone, have someone alongside her. And she just doesn't have, doesn't get to do the things that you'd think a typical 18-year-old would do. And I remember just like, feeling like I came to visit the family and I was watching her and I felt sorry, man. And she was on the game. She's playing I think it was Kingdom Hearts, whatever. And that's when she plays games, she comes into her own. She tells me about the lore. She gets so excited. I just see her eyes light up. And she's playing these games. I was thinking, I wonder if there's a way, if I can find some sort of place or organisation where that does gaming that kind of fits people like her. If I can get her signed up to that, maybe it would be good for her. So I tried to, phone in and Googling, researching, all this kind of stuff, and I was just it was either long waiting lists or just things that didn't have the right sort of setup for her. And then I was speaking to someone, and I remember them just saying, yeah, just do it yourself. Like, just why don't you try and do something yourself, you know? So I was like, oh, let me look into that. So I started looking into how to set up an organisation that does such things. And yeah, hence SHYNNE. I created it, and yeah, to support people that are neurodivergent. And it's basically off the back of just my sister trying to hopefully getting her to socialise with other people. That's what created SHYNNE.
I think there's so many people who come on the podcast as parents who kind of look for that help and then struggle to find it and then go, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah. It was, it's, you know, so they say there's support systems and things in place, but I just find it really hard to actually find the right support or system in place. I just find it hard to just for the tracking it down and things in this. Oh yeah, you're not in the right borough, or we do these times. It's just very difficult, very hard. So yeah, which is why I thought I'd do it myself. And we had one session that was really successful. End of last year, it was brilliant. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people just saying, yeah, we need to have this and weekly events. I was like, right, we need to go for this, because a lot of people like my sister really enjoyed it, and it was they were socializing, and we made it a thing where we had games that wasn't. We tried to do many multiplayer games, so to get people to play with, you know, alongside other people. And yeah, I noticed that on the gaming side of things, I think it's right for people to kind of relax, and there's something to talk about. There's a particular game that, you know, we had Pokemon there, and they talk about the Pokemon battle games, and have you played this on the Switch and all this kind of stuff, and you're kind of just sitting back and you're just watching it thinking, yeah, this is it, this is perfect. So yeah, that's sort of brief description of how it started.
I think with gaming is what you end up happening is when you have two people, you sit two people opposite each other on a table and they just look at each other, it's like, I don't know what to ask you, I don't know what to share about it myself, because if I share that, you might not like me. And all that sort of stuff goes on, where as soon as you start playing some simple game, like I think your website, you've got like the air hockey.
Yeah.
You're keeping a score. You can say, oh, that was a great move. You can start having a conversation. If you're both looking at Pokemon, well, you like Pokemon and I like Pokemon, you already given enough information to know, actually, I can have a conversation with you about Pokemon. I can tell you what I like because you're already liking Pokemon. And I'm not really reeling about a huge amount myself. I'm talking about Pokemon. And I think that sort of thing just helps neurodivergent, and not the anxiety kind of disappears, because it's not them talking about themselves. It's the activity, it's the game that they're talking about, which is easier.
Yeah, and I think it's a thing of, you know, when you have the small talk, like when you do that, I think we have we sort of try and guard ourselves. Well, I know I do. I think I have small talk, but I have to think in my head, whatever I'm going to say, is it going to be right? Is it going to be the right thing? Is it going to, like, you know, not make me look in a bad light, sort of thing? So you're thinking all these things is not comfortable. It's very guarded. Where when it's a game, the small talk means something to you. Do you know what I mean? You're excited about it. It's just genuine talk. Your genuine interest. So I think that's something that sort of amazes me. It's like, you know, when I think you do the typical day jobs that I do, and you know, you have the small talk and stuff like that. But when they're talking there, I'm like, yeah, I can see it. You're more relaxed. Like there's when you talk with, there's like a purpose to it. Do you know what I mean? So I love that.
On Monday nights, I help out a youth club, and it's mental health nights, and I think nearly everyone there is neurodivergent, and each week is a different activity. But I think the ones we did recently, we did Dungeons and Dragons night.
Oh, right.
And I've never played it. I've played it on games online. I've never actually sat down and played it.
Yeah.
And one of them was done. It came with everything. We had dice, we had the trays, we had shiny dice, we had 20. We had everything. It had character sheets. She really made it so easy for us all, and it was an absolute hoot.
Wow. Okay.
It was. So what can I do with this? You could do anything you want. Can I make 20 sheep appear? It's like, yes, if you want. And then someone else goes, can I put party hats on all those sheep? And it just went in the most bizarre, entertaining way. And everyone was so engaged. And we're looking forward to doing it again. But it is something about, again, having that game drove the conversation, and everyone contributed in lots of different ways. Whereas sometimes when we do maybe just like we had this week was a campfire and we're toasting marshmallows, the conversation didn't flow because it was small talk. There's only so much you can do about talking about marshmallows before you run out of conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation, everyone had to put effort in. But when we do the games, when we do proper cooking, those sorts of activities help the conversation. It drives that conversation.
Yeah.
And it just helps them connect.
Yeah, I can just imagine with the marshmallows, like, right, I've done talk about the marshmallows, but can I talk about the packet of marshmallows or where you get them from? Like, how can I move this on? I've run out of ideas here.
Then you go, oh, the weather. Can we talk about the weather? And everyone's going, do we have to talk about the weather? Who cares about the weather?
Yeah, I just find that very exhausting. That's why I do feel at home when I do these events. I just feel easy. Like, it just feels like, you know, you just relax and you haven't got to hold your breath, and it's all sort of natural. So I think there's something to learn. And as well, when we did it, we had some of the carers came, the parents and carers and things like this, and they were sort of talking about it as well. And yeah, it was a really nice community feel, which I think, where I live, it's sort of lacking. There isn't much of a community in my part of Barnet. So to have something like that is, it was nice to be part of.
And one thing I love about online gaming is that sometimes people struggle connecting in the real world. And you can connect on online gaming. And you mentioned like your sister plays Kingdom of Hearts, whatever it's called, plays those games. And you can, if you're confident, if you feel you can make friends while you play those games online.
Yeah.
But I think what's nice about your events is you can meet people in the real world. You can go, cool, I like them. Do you play this game? Cool. And then you can create that connection online. So you're not just made a connection when they come to you every week type thing. Is actually that connection can be throughout the week. And now you're building friendships which last. It's not just I'll see them on the Monday.
Yeah.
It's actually we can message all week. We can play games together because that person isn't having any expectations of them and they're not having any expectations of them. And it's a really nice way that actually it's a nice safe place to kind of go, okay, I like them, we get on well, we've got the same interests, cool. Whereas doing that randomly on the internet is going to be quite a hard task. So it's nice having that focus of the event, that you can come along, you can play different things, you can try different things, find people you kind of get on with and continue that friendship throughout the week.
Yeah.
Do you find that happens?
Yeah, I do. It was a big sort of thing of mine to get people to come together, like instead of being online, because I think since the COVID, I think a lot of people suffered in all different aspects of it, but a lot of the main thing was mental health, and I did want to, because you've got a lot of people playing online, and some of my friends play online gaming, but I'm always like, what happens when the internet dies? Like what happened to the good old days where you get together, you knock on someone's door, innit? Is it your kid? Oh, it's Josh in or whatever. That sort of feel to it. So I really like people having to get just getting together and and listen. At the end of the day, with gaming, like you say, you can be online. So if it isn't for you just to be in person, there are aspects of it where you can log on, you can have an online friend and that sort of stuff. But I do think it's a great aspect to be, to have physical interactions, and that's what we sort of really promote that.
Did you play GoldenEye?
Oh God, yeah, N64. Who didn't? Oh, N64. Oh my gosh, that's a throwback. GoldenEye, and I had a Pokemon tournament game as well. That seemed revolutionary at the time, but you look at it now, it's like blocks on top of blocks.
But with GoldenEye, you could do 4-player on the same console, so you'd all have a little quarter of that tiny 14-inch screen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But you were all in the same room, having all that banter, ripping it. It was just so much fun because you're in the same room together, and that the looks are going on. Some would be rubbish, or you might not have enough controllers, so it's 2 of you, but there's 6 of you in the room, so you're taking it in turns, and while you're playing, someone else is just talking, and the socialising was there. Whereas when you just go to 6 people or 4 people sitting in their own houses on their own computer with their headset on, it isn't the same.
Yeah. I've played online gaming recently, but not with the headset. I don't even know what that's like now. I just play it. Like maybe I log in and then I was playing FIFA. I don't get to play as much now, but I was playing it last year. I remember I lost and they left a message saying something loser or something like this. Like that was the closest I get now to interacting.
I do some racing, and I play with randoms. It's not, and there's always chat going on, and somebody will crash, and somebody will moan, somebody will go, "You can't drive," and it's. I find it entertaining because I try not to get stressed with it all, but to just to be in that thing and listening is one thing, but to be able to just go, I'm going to say something, takes a lot of effort. Takes that. What are the expectations? Am I going to ignore? Am I just going to get simply ignored? Am I going to make friends? So actually, by having an event where you can go, actually, nope, I'm not going to be ignored. I'm going to be doing stuff. I can join in. I can choose, but I can do it at my own pace. And that's what I like about things like that face-to-face event where you are kind of got that youth club style feel. Everyone can access it in their way.
But I don't want to. We try not to put too much pressure on you. You have to interact. I just want it to be relaxed. I don't want them to think, oh gosh, like it's a chore. I really want them to go there. Like even we had a quiet area. If it got too overwhelming or overstimulating, you can go there and just sort of chill out, relax, that sort of thing. So yeah, like obviously we want people to interact, but there's no, why you're not talking, there's none of that going on. Like you can literally just stare, or you could just like game watch. Like people, like there's a few people that came and they're just like behind us watching, them playing games and stuff like this. But I was like, do you want to have a go? Because there wasn't enough consoles. And the guy was like, no, I'm happy just doing this. Because he was saying he likes to watch reactions to games on YouTube. So he was just there behind him and like, giving some like, criticism, not critique, we call it, of some of the of this guy's playing methods. But that's really cool, like, just seeing them like together, that sort of thing. So yeah, I try not to put too much sort of pressure in. You have to interact, but it's there for you to do it. So because I'm not a person. I don't like too many rules, or you have to do this thing, or organize fun. I can't stand that sort of thing. So I always kind of like, if I'm to do anything or run any sort of event, I just want that sort of feeling. There's no pressure. There's no pressure to do anything. You can come, you can watch, you can engage, you can leave, that sort of thing. But there's no, you have to do this,
So what is a typical evening like? Is it like you go there, you set it all up with lots of different activities and then the doors open?
Yeah. So we'd have like we'd have air hockey, like you mentioned, pool. We'd have some consoles. We'd have consoles on the projector screens. So like you'd have the new ones, so the Xbox and the PS5, and then you have your retro consoles, like we have the GameCube, N64, the Sega Saturn, and have the old school games. So we have those on the little screens, the 20-inch screens there. And then and then you have your board games as well. So you have your Connect 4 or your Uno, things like this. You have your board games and your card games, and then it's just literally, we set them all up, open the doors, greet everyone, and then you literally just go into it, get wherever you feel you're being taken to, and then we just do it like that. So it's very free, and so they can go to the retro games and go to the new games, and you go to the card or board games, and go to the pool or air hockey. It's pretty sort of free, it's literally, as long as you come in and you can find your place, I guess.
So how long have you been running these kind of evenings?
So we've been running them since last year. We had a launch one that was it was set up in Millhall East Church. So the guys are great for letting us host that there, and then we had a little games competition as well, which is really cool at the end. And then so that was the only one we've done. So now we're going to do it from next month. It's going to be every Saturday. So we're going to be running every Saturday in the afternoon in Finchley Library. So it's going to be running from 1 to 4.
Nice. Because that's the thing, is you want that, it's that somewhere to go where without me having to say anything, I'm going to walk in that door and you're already going to have an understanding of my expectations, your expectations, all those, kind of, because of the type of group it is, those expectations are immediately going to be lowered and you can be yourself. And it's just great that actually there is an environment, and as you said, you feel around here a bit more relaxed, and you just want to walk in and going, actually, I might just sit there and watch, but he might not know something, but I do, so I could just tell them, and that's the start of a conversation. That little bit of critique can start a conversation, or someone goes, oh, show me. Or do you want to go? And it just builds those connections. You start realising that person likes the game as much as you do. it all builds those connections without really just having to sit there. You don't even have to look at each other, because that's the game with gaming. You're all staring at the same screen. You're sitting in a row, you're next to each other, staring at the same screen, no eye contact, and it's easier.
Yeah, I looked after my the two girls, but I also was a care worker as well. And I think from that experience, as well as looking after the two girls, I sort of the methods that I kind of use within this game, the way to treat people and the way to sort of set it up where it's freeing. I think it's come from that. I understand there's different needs, different wants. There's some people that want to be. There's some people that want to be organised. I want to be told, oh, you can start here and then you can play this game afterwards. But I find a lot of people, they just don't really want to communicate at times. Just want to play their game, and when they want to speak, they'll be ready to speak. They don't want to be coached into it or told to interact. They do it when they feel right. So I really try to employ those methods into sort of how we run SHYNNE in these gaming events, where you can be sort of like, coached into maybe speaking with someone, or just coached into which game play you want to experience, or you can just have the freeing opportunity of just going wherever you want to go, speaking whenever you want to speak, that sort of thing. Because there was a parent that after the gaming event, we had a great feedback, and I remember there's a parent that rang me, and they were talking about, the only thing is the games, he didn't want to speak to anyone, so is there, a way we can sort of like make him speak? And I was like, we don't really want to do that. Like, we just want to sort of encourage it, but we don't want to make it a chore for him to speak. So maybe we can sort of set up where he can play in a game with someone else, and then maybe have to interact. Maybe you need to,
solve a problem together.
Solve a problem, exactly. Yeah. So maybe we need to do it like that. But we didn't want to do it where it's like you have to sort of speak, if you get what I mean.
There's something about it, it's easy when you look at what's going. No, you just need to jump that way or jump that way, or you stand there so I can do this. Somehow that seems easier.
Yeah.
Than me saying, hi, I'm Dale. I don't even have to know your name.
Yeah.
I just know you're the other character, and I just need you to go there so I can do this.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the fact I'm asking you, you know why I'm doing it, you know what I'm going, you know everything. So it just removes so many barriers when you're just looking at that screen, knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
It's simple.
It's simple, isn't it? Yeah.
It's interesting. I was going to ask you, have you had any good feedback? And as you start talking, I've had some great feedback. So
yeah. No. There was one that really was touching. So it was a grandma, and she brought her grandson there, and she took me to a side and she said she travelled not even from the Barnet area. She travelled from somewhere in East London, and she was like, so we saw this, like we really wanted to be part of it because there was nothing in the area, and basically we wanted someone to interact and sort of mentor, my grandson, and because he's like hanging around with the wrong crowd and things like this are positive and all this kind of stuff. So I ended up actually meeting up with the grandson, the son, and his mum, and then we went to the Science Museum, and there was like a game floor downstairs. I haven't been to the Science Museum in years, so I didn't know it was actually there. So I was sort of gobsmacked. I was like, wow, this is cool. And sort of like mentoring him and all that sort of stuff. But it happened from that gaming event. It was like, it sort of touched her where she can, she said, you need to keep doing these sort of events because it's really, it's really a great place there's something to do. Because I think there's a lot of, one of the feedbacks that we got, one of the main points where there isn't a lot to sign up are children or family members too. Other than, maybe the usual suspects, maybe like school and education, that sort of thing. But that's something where it's recreational, something fun, there isn't a lot. So that's when it was like, we really want, to do more of this. So, we have the opportunity to send our loved ones there, and to meet other people. They really loved the fact. So some of the kids, they didn't know anything about games, but what they loved the fact is they were playing with other people instead of like maybe playing online, I assume.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about connect. But that's the thing. Playing online, I've never really got into a clan or whatever you want to call it, whatever game where I've got a group of people I don't know a lot. I've never got into. I've never played that sort of game. I've never had that experience. I know people have amazing friendships. I love reading stories of. I've played with my friend for 10 years. I met him at his wedding where I was the best man.
Yeah.
And I love hearing those stories because those connections can be pure. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
But when you are trying to make, if you got any anxiety around making friendships, trying to do it online,
Yeah.
is so hard. Whereas if you can do that, make that connection in the real world, and that person knows you and gets you, their expectations of you will be different.
I just think in general it's hard to make friends anyway now. It's just I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't remember it being, maybe because I'm older or something. It seemed easier. And maybe we had more in common. I don't know when I was younger, but I find it hard to.
Well, you couldn't avoid each other and be online when you were young.
Yeah.
You had to say something. You had to talk. Whereas now we have lots of ways of not doing it. Yeah. Everyone there's 12 screens in your house you could watch a film on.
Yeah.
So you don't have to argue or work out with your brother or your sister which film you want to watch or what TV you watch. There's all those little communication skills. We've perfected getting rid of them.
Yeah. I actually do this weird thing. I don't know if it's that weird, but when I go to a supermarket, I intentionally I don't go to the self-service. I try to go to someone and just strike up a conversation, just to sort of like test
What's
my
wrong with
social
you?
skills. Yeah. They look at me. I just want to keep it going because I don't get to use it as much. So I just obviously I'm British, so we obviously got to talk about the weather. So I was like, weather's nice, or the weather's bad today, isn't it? Like that sort of thing, and that usually gets them going. It's like, and I leave, and I think that was a good interaction. I rate that about a 5 out of 5. Oh, that wasn't a good one. Couldn't really get past the weather, actually, So that's a 2. That's a 2 at best. But I try to do that because I just like I kind of miss the sort of neighbourhood. I'm 40, so I kind of grew up with doors being open. No, I'm 41 now. Jeez, I forget my own age. But I grew up with like the doors being open in our road, and you just saying hi to someone just because. I grew up like that, so I think that's sort of waning. So I'm really a strong believer in trying to get those sort of those skills that we used to have before. Try to exercise them as much as possible. So,
But even when I was a kid, you go around your friend's house and you ring the doorbell and their parents would answer. And you'd have this awkward conversation before you were allowed up type thing, or your friend comes down. Yeah. Whereas now what my kids do is they message their friends, "I'm outside." Yeah. And then their friend comes down and then they go up and you're like, we've just so many ways we've learned how to avoid those conversations. So we're not learning how to have those awkward conversations with somebody you don't know.
Yeah. I think they were good to have those. I think, you're right. And I think it taught you as well. Because I remember times you have to, when you phone your friend and it'd be the house phone and you're just praying the dad didn't answer. And it was just like, and then you're thinking, oh, what time is it? Is this the right time? Is it okay time to be ringing? And all that kind of stuff. But I think all these things,
and also the fact that you were just sitting in the hall with your whole family listening as well, because they were just in the living room.
Yeah, because only one phone. So I just think they gave you skills that we probably weren't even aware of. The social skills was embedded in us just by doing those things.
And I know previous generations there was a lot more before. I am older than you by a number of years. But before that, there was lots more youth clubs and things like that. There were, and I think our generation. There wasn't where I lived. I don't remember any youth clubs. They were kind of gone.
Right, yeah.
And I like the fact they're coming back. They seem to be. I'm seeing more of them around.
Yeah.
And I think they are really needed because basically for some children it's home, online, school.
Yeah.
That's it. They're the 3 places they go.
Yeah.
And life is busy, life is hard. And actually, where is a place they feel they belong?
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't really see much of the kids playing the football on the streets and all these sort of things, and the hopscotch and all these sort of things are just gone now, isn't it? You probably got an app for hopscotch, I don't know, but you play it on your phone now. Yeah.
But my daughters would go to someone's birthday party and they'd go there and I go, how was it? And they'd be grumpy and I'm like, what's happened? They're like, we got there and everyone spent the entire time on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, why are they on their phone? You're all in the room together. They're like, yeah, they're just trying to find clips and show stuff. And I'm like, we could have all just sat at home and done that. Why did we just sit in the same room? Why?
Yeah.
And I think there's trends which are going on, whatever. And I think if my daughters feel like if I'm with someone, I want to do something.
Yeah.
It might be playing a game together. It might be doing something on the Switch, Mario Kart or something. anything like that. But just sitting on your phone, it's like, why?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good on your daughter for recognising that as well, not being one of the ones with the phone. That's actually,
No.
yeah.
And she would just be like, "Try, let's do this," and it would and it's the point is she just didn't bother because what was the point?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, she was missing out on the social interaction, but the quality of that social interaction that was available wasn't exactly high.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's a dying art form, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I just think, I mean, I love my youth group, and then somehow the youth group I do, they have their own building.
Okay.
In the local park where they have it, and they have nights Monday to Friday. They have different thing each night, which is great. And then I do another one at a different place where they have 2 nights there, I think. So over a week there are 7 different nights going on at 2 locations.
Oh wow! And this is weekly.
Weekly, every week.
Okay.
And I love it. And I know that I go there and I do the mental health night, and those kids love it. And they are all secondary level, secondary age, and they come there and we will make cards, we'll cook pancakes, we'll have a can't cook, won't cook style competition with random ingredients. We'll do Dungeons and Dragons nights, we'll play some random stupid games, we'll just do things like that. And it's just a chance to socialise, a chance to kind of take that baggage off, just relax and say and be whoever you want.
Yeah, well, I bet they're really needed as well. I bet the feedback you must get from that is amazing. And if it wasn't on the week, what would they do,
And it's my daughter now comes with me, which I love. So she comes along, she loves it and really enjoys it. And I'm like, you're not talking much. She went, I'm just working out where everyone is and what can I say? And see, I'm learning and watching her that she just can't go there and talk. She's got to just monitor for a bit.
Yeah.
Get there. She's now joining in more. She's learning how people are, and she's going, what can I say to that person? But she likes it because she says, she feels she's not judged.
Right.
She doesn't know how to talk to people because she doesn't know what they're into, but for herself, she doesn't feel judged.
Oh, that's brilliant. And that's another feel. I wasn't giving the feedback, but I just feel that the event that we had, I just feel that there was no judgment there. Everyone was just accepted for who you were. We didn't even bother with that. Do you know what I mean? And that, I think, I do think in some place where you go and just in general, I do think there's a fear of, oh, well, I'm like this, or will I be sort of like outcasted or judged for being a certain way? But if you can go to a place and you can be comfortable no matter who you are, or your quirks, so to speak, or whatever, I think that's an added comfort.
I took my daughter to a concert, it was last summer, and while we were there, it's like you can see everyone is just looking at everyone else and judging the outfits.
Oh, I hate that.
Judging, are they a true fan or are they a fake fan?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Are they, whatever it is, all that, and you just see every person just looking up and down and judging everyone else. Like, just enjoy it. You're at a music concert of the artist you love. Why are you worrying about other people in the audience? Enjoy the music.
Yeah.
And before we started recording, we were talking about Comic-Con.
Oh, yes.
And if you have a neurodivergent child or young person, or go to a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Just go to one.
Yeah.
You might not be into sci-fi. You might not be into gaming. You might not be into anime. Just go and be part of that environment, because it is the most accepting environment I have ever been in. And it's one of the things when you experience that environment and you feel what it feels like to be there, and then you go somewhere else, it gives you a contrast. It helps you feel what other places are really like when you go somewhere which is so accepting.
Yeah, like I was speaking to you before, and I was saying my sister amazes me. So socially, she doesn't speak to anyone, doesn't have any friends or anything like this. But I'll take her. So I'll take her to I usually take her to Hyper Japan, and I'll take her to like a gaming convention and things like this. And she'll wear some of especially the gaming conventions. She'll wear some of these outfits that are like a cosplay character from Kingdom Hearts or one of these things. I'm not too sure who it is, but anyway. So she'll wear it, and we go on the tube, and so we're nowhere near the event. So people are just dressed how they dress, and she'll be there. And then people be watching her, people be looking at her, and she wouldn't care. She wouldn't care at all. And I wouldn't be able to do any of that. I'd feel so embarrassed. I know me. If I wanted to do it, I wouldn't have that courage. And she'd go there, yeah, and she'd feel no way. And then the closer you'll get, you see more people with cosplay. And if you look in and go, oh, there's Thingy, or there's whatever character, insert character name. And then you get more and closer, there's like everyone there. And it's like, ah, you know, she's home sort of thing. I'm like, it's so interesting how the mind works because, you know, obviously she has issues like saying like hi to people, greeting, but which I can do easy. But just to do that, it has so much courage to dress up like that, and like which something I couldn't do. It's so amazing, so fascinating.
I think it partly is when you put that character on, you're kind of taking about that personality. You know, it's not you.
Yeah.
If someone's looking at you, it's not you they're looking at. It's what you're wearing. So there's a certain level, I think, in my head, protection around that. But as you said, she went there and then she saw someone from a game that she plays.
Yeah.
And she heard, oh, can I go get my photo taken with them?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just this most, I love it. I see families, I see so many different types of people. And there is so much love and acceptance in those places that when you go there, it's like whoever you are, you can just do your own thing, your own way. And if you dress up, no matter how small, someone will probably comment and say, oh, I love your hat, love this, love that, whatever it is you've done. And it is such a nice feeling. Yeah. And I'm going again. There's one in London at Excel at the end of May, and I'm going this year, and I cannot wait.
Are you
going with my girls, and they're going to love it.
Are you dressing up?
No, I have previously dressed up as Beetlejuice.
Oh wow, okay.
For makeup and everything. It wasn't the best. They keep trying to tempt me to do that. Yeah. Maybe one day I might dress up something quite random.
Yeah. Sometimes you see us or one guy dressed up as, or girl dressed up as what's that anime? Gundam. You know Gundam.
Oh yes.
Yeah, had the whole. It looked really good. Like, I'm like thinking, but it looked like it was homemade. So I'm like, you know, the time. How long did it take to craft all of that? You know, and then to wear. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And
that's the thing. Generally, every outfit there will be homemade. And it's that love and it's a detail, and you look at them. And my daughter had some bits and some details that she'd bought some clothes, but then she had to make it look worn for that character and damaged. And she had photos and she was paying attention and getting the right shirt. We had to get the right bag and it all, but then damage it and all this lot to put the effort in. Yeah. It is phenomenal. The effort. And for those who have no idea what Gundam is, it's Japanese kind of robots fighting. Yeah. Great anime for me. But it's that acceptance. If you don't like it, you walk along, but there's something you will love. Yeah. And I've seen whole families. I've seen kids in pushchairs, like dressed up as Batman, and the dad pushing it is dressed as Robin.
The visual of that in my mind, that's be crazy. Oh,
and I just look at it going, love it. And you do get the parents dressing up. The kids are the main characters, and the parents are the kind of the side characters. Yeah. And they're like, that must have been so fun from that morning. Even like the planning, the getting the outfits, the getting dressed, the getting in the car or getting on the tube. The whole day is fun.
Yeah. And they do the poses as well from the typical character pose, whatever that's your unique pose is for the photo op. How's your daughter when if someone recognizes her? How does she feel about that? Does she get excited by that? Or
she loves it. So she dressed up as Ellie from The Last of Us. So it was like jeans and like a check shirt and a bag. So it wasn't hugely. It could have been just like an average teenager thing. Yeah. But somebody recognised and just looked at her and went, "You're Ellie." And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, cool." And then I think she saw another Ellie, and they got their photo taken together. So that's the thing, when you dress up as one character, someone else sees you. They're like, "Oh, you're me as well. Let's take a photo." Yeah. And it's just this instant connection, because by wearing that outfit, you like that game or you like that show, and they do. Instant connection.
Yeah.
It's like you're walking around with your CV on you.
Yeah. But just on that, actually, you raise a good point. An interesting thing. You know, when they dress up the same, one thing I have noticed, there isn't that kind of they're dressed up as me, but my one's better or something like that. I don't ever see that kind of reaction to it.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I've just figured that out. I just thought about that. Like, they're usually like you're dressed up as me. Let's take a photo. It's never like, oh, look, you haven't got the right boots as this character or whatever. You know, it's never that sort of
I have seen the most amazingly dressed person, most phenomenal, walk up to maybe a child who's maybe just wearing a T-shirt and a hat of that character, going, "Wow, you look so cool." do you want to get a photo? And this girl was looking at it going, oh my God, this is the best day ever. And you're like, it is actually the best day ever.
Yeah.
It's such a happy world to be in.
Yeah.
And so we go, I think every year or two we go as a family, and it's a happy place to be.
Yeah.
And there are some people who I look at them going, I don't understand it, but that's as far as my thoughts go. I don't understand it, but that's what they like, that's what they love. And everyone just gets on.
Yeah.
It's great.
When we had the event, my sister turned up, and she had the outfit, one of these character outfits on the cosplay. She's the only one that had the outfit on, and she was playing the games. And yeah, man, it, just watching her like play the game and go to the other game and talk to the people, man. It kind of just it just makes you feel like, yeah, that's why, this is why, like, I do this for that. Like, that was it was really beautiful, actually.
That's the thing is, mental health stuff I do is lovely, and it's like, but I wish we could do more.
Yeah.
And I know the power of gaming is, and again, when it's in person, you're doing the multiplayer stuff. So maybe some of the old PlayStation 1, N64 games where you are. And Mario Kart is a great one.
Yeah.
And Mario Kart is not a skill game.
No.
There's a lot of luck.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah. I just
Mario
must be very
Kart,
unlucky.
You could be the best person, you could be in the lead, and everyone's going to get those rockets and missiles, and they're going to get you down, and you're being last.
Yeah.
And that is such a good thing when it's family gaming, when you're gaming, and it's not necessarily even playing field in terms of ability.
Yeah.
Mario Kart equals it out.
Yeah.
And it's also so much. It's a fun game. And that's one thing I would love if it's like, actually, we could have almost like a Mario Kart tournament, because you can do 4-player on the Switches and things like that. It's just such a nice, simple, fun game that anyone can join in, but somebody's going to get that sense of winning, not because they're the best.
Yeah.
But just because all the things lined up in that race.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we try to promote multiplayer games as well. Just for the chance to have that sort of interaction. Because I remember, actually, you talk about Mario Kart, there were some fun times. I remember on Christmas, you playing that, and my mum, she didn't know anything about games, but, Christmas, she'd be like, all right, then, I'll join in. And it was just a laugh, like, it was throwing the banana or throwing it, whatever, like, it was just fun, man. It was really.
But your mum wasn't miles behind.
No.
It levels the playing field. Your mum could have beaten you.
Yeah.
And that you'd have been so embarrassed that my mum just beat me at I'm going to have another game.
Yeah.
And the banter just goes.
Yeah. Also, that dance one, is it Dance Revolution? That's a good one as well. You're doing the moves and all this sort of stuff and the sticks, like, that's pretty cool as well. Everyone gets into that, like, it's good for exercise as well. You're doing all your hand movements and stuff like this, and yeah.
Then you get someone who goes, no, I won't have a go. Then they get really competitive.
Yeah. They start doing some break dance or whatever.
But that's the thing. I think games brought so many people together, even back in Chucky Egg days and Duck Hunt and things like that, if you go really old school.
Yeah.
But I think that onlineness has given us a disconnection. But we can get those old consoles back out. You can get them on eBay. You can play those multiplayer games. And you can have a lot of fun. Yeah. And one thing I would say is, if you are a parent of a child who loves gaming and you don't, one of the things I would say is, when they were young, they spent a lot of their life trying to impress you. They did things to please you. As they've grown up, they found their own world that they love. You should try and go into that world. Yeah? Not fully, but do try and go into that world so you can engage with them where they are. If they're not coming to where you are and doing the gardening with you, or painting, or whatever you're into, you go to them. And there are some games, Minecraft. I know people who play Minecraft as families. Minecraft, you can play on the same computer. You can play in different parts. You can have certain... There are games that you can play that you will like, that they will like, and you can build things together. And it's great. So don't think of gaming as something that maybe your child does and it's a separation and they sit in their room doing it on their own. Why can't you find a way to join them?
Yeah. I think, because gaming does sometimes get a bad rep, but I think it can be a pathway to connect, to open up an olive branch, to, like you said, to dive into their world. And maybe just ask some questions. There'll be a lot of times, because my sister, she wouldn't talk that much, and if I wanted to get something out of her, I'll just ask her about a game as like a trick. I was like, oh, what's this Zelda character, whatever, and then she'd go, well, and then she'd just go and start reeling me off all this lore and stuff like this. So I do think you should, even if you don't understand it, you can actually use it to maybe get closer to your children or whatnot, because that's what they're interested in. So maybe find an interest in it in some way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, anything else you want to kind of mention? Anything else you want to say?
No, yeah, just say we're having the gaming event, so it's going to be next month. Well, it's provisional date next month, but the latest it will start is probably in July. It probably will be in July because we want to match it to the one of the half terms and that sort of period. So yeah, it would be then definitely by July, but the dates and all that will be on the website. And it would be every Saturday. We're also doing other events as well. We actually had speed dating event that was really great as well, and we had good feedback from that, and we're gonna try and do more sort of events directed targeted neurodivergent people. So yeah, just look out for that. And yeah, say thank you for having me on. It's been really enjoyable. You've made me think about Duck Hunt now. I've got Duck Hunt in my head, so I've never played that on the Sega Master System, I think. So just thinking about these things. But it's nice to go down memory lane, and I just think what you're doing as well is wonderful. And I just think we all try and do our bit, man, and just and we do it for a place, not just as a job, but just from love. Like, there's a reason why we do it, because of every experience we have, or what we've seen, what we don't really like, and we're trying to improve that aspect of things. I think from that, you get some rewardment yourself from doing it. So yeah, well done to you.
I know I've had, in my life, I have had experiences and opportunities others haven't. And you don't always recognise it when you're younger. And as you get older, you look at your kids and go, why don't you just do, okay, that's not a thing. But actually, I really benefited from that. So you use your experiences that you've loved to kind of share that with others.
Yeah.
And there's a gaming festival called Insomnia, which is at the NEC every year, I think. And in there, you can actually take your computer and go into one of the big halls at the NEC and plug your computer into the network and play games against the rest of the people there who've also bought their own computers. Bonkers. You can stay there overnight. But they also have esports stuff on, but they also have a whole classic arcade section. So you can go play Duck Hunt or Streets of Rage or Alex the Kid or Altered Beast, all the old games we used to play.
Yeah.
And I've done that with my daughter and given her a bit of a history on those old games and go back to my childhood. And I think that I would rather my kids played games than watch TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they're watching a screen, they're just consuming. There's not much thoughts going on. But when you're playing a game, you're using your head.
Yeah.
You're using that brain. You're working out where you are, your strategy, your Minecraft and lots of games. You're looking at your inventory and you're managing stuff and collecting stuff and working towards something, or you're leveling up. There's a lot going on, which to me is always much better than just sitting in front of a TV going through Netflix and completing Netflix.
Yeah. There's one thing actually I want to say. Right, we were trying to get funding to do this and to do this regularly. We applied to different funders, and we had a lot of no's. But we had a big yes from the National Lottery, so they gave us considerable funding to put this on and to put this on every week and to acquire the space and things like that. So I really want to give a big thank you as well to the National Lottery for helping us, because they're part of this, and it's really going to be great for the resources that they're going to give us to allow us to give to the community. So thank you to them.
It's amazing. I love the National Lottery. I think they've done some work with our charity as well and other things. And I think once you get started, you can get other donations, and it kind of starts with the ball rolling.
Yeah,
it's really, and I love the work they do. They do a lot of work.
Yeah,
helping
really
lots
good.
of organisations.
Yeah, really good.
So thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been fun.
Marlon's given me some links to find out more about SHYNNE, the events and things like that, and also a news article to find all about it. And you'll find those, as always, in the show notes. That's wherever you're listening to the podcast, but also on our website. Thank you for listening. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. You can find links to subscribe across the different podcast platforms on our website. And please follow us on various social medias, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Blue Sky. You'll find us. And you can follow us. So please do that and share the podcast with others. If you've enjoyed this, please share it. And everyone knows B Squared as a company who helps schools to show the small steps of progress for pupils with SEND. And over the last few years, we've made our system an inclusive assessment system that can be used for all pupils in primary schools. So when most pupils struggle to show progress for SEND, we've been doing that for years. We can now show progress for all pupils, but using different levels of detail. So for the more able children, we don't have that level of detail, but where you need that level of details for the most complex learners, we have the right level of detail. But by having it in one system, it makes whole school data and comparing your SEND and your non-SEND pupils really, really simple. And as it's in one system, it's going to be cheaper, it's going to reduce workload, and the whole thing's just going to be easier to do. So if you are interested and want to find out more, you'll find a link on the website or to book a meeting with me, and you'll also find a link in the show notes to get a meeting with me as well. And you can find out about all the stuff we do, and all the stuff is on the B Squared website. So thank you for listening. We'll be back soon with another episode of the SENDcast. It's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Bye, everyone.